Morning guys, and welcome back to I Like Watches. A doubly big smile on my face today. Well, firstly because I'm reviewing this awesome new Proxima, but secondly because yesterday I was convinced I was coming down with some sort of man flu. I felt terrible, moping around, feeling all sorry for myself, and yet I've woken up this morning and I feel fresh as a daisy. I'm not going to complain. I've no idea what that was all about. I feel as though I've cheated him upstairs out of an extra good day. So lots of smiles in this video from me, along with all the facts, figures, stats and specifications. Green thumbs up, red thumbs down, lots of lovely macro shots as well, little summary at the end, and of course, if you plan to go shopping in the 11th of the 11th AliExpress sale, you haven't got long, only a few days left, and there are some lovely links in my video description. They are affiliate links, so they do help to support me and this channel, so thank you so much for using them, guys. Right, let's crack on and take a look at this Proxima. That was cheesy, wasn't it? Right, I'm going to start by taking a look at this watch on AliExpress to determine whether or not it is actually genuinely discounted in this current AliExpress sale. I've put the details for this watch into AliPrice, which is a website that tracks prices on AliExpress. We can see that this watch launched on the 8th of October for $188.99, that's US dollars. It remained that price until the 19th of October, when it dropped down to $182. It then went back up to the original launch price 2 days after the current sale started. I'm not sure why that was, but anyway, the price has been basically $189 or $182, and in the sale I've been offered this watch for $163.99. I did take full advantage of a $10 coupon that they were offering. Let me go back here. Here it is. Look, just click on these coupons. You'll see $25 off if you spend over $220 and $10 off if you spend over $110. You just click on collect and it says I've already collected them because I like to collect coupons. And as you can see, there's only one option. It's this one and I'm wearing it. So let's head over to the light box and take a proper look at this watch. Right, and here it is. I'm going to at least try to start this part of the video without any fingerprints on the high polished sides to the case. Now, I did forget to mention in the introduction that the sale price represents either a 10.5% or 14% discount, depending on which price you want to compare the sale price to. That may not seem like a huge discount, but Proxima don't always take part in these AliExpress sales, and with this being such a new watch, I wasn't expecting it to be discounted at all. And generally their watches are okay amongst the slightly more expensive watches, but I also think they represent fantastic value because their build quality is really, really good. Now, this watch is a homage of a Seiko Superior, which was one of the early quartz watches that Seiko made. But inside this watch, Proxima have put the NH36, so you've got that date, or day date complication, I should say, at the 3 o'clock. Beautiful dial. Very nice build quality, excellent finishing on this case by the looks of it. So yeah, the movement is NH36, as I've mentioned, beating at 21,600 beats per hour. Hacks and hand winds, and trusty, reliable movement. Right, let's give you some numbers. Diameter is 38mm, thickness is 11.7, case length 45.7, and 20mm lugs. And the strap tapers down to 17.7. On the supplied strap, it weighs bang on 75 grams. Now, you can't miss the AR coating, can you? But is it sapphire crystal? Yes, it is a flat piece of sapphire crystal. Look, there it is. And Proxima have decided to include some lume on this watch. I think that's a pretty good decision, not necessarily in keeping with the original watch, but yeah, I think it's a nice touch. Blue BGW9, yeah, looks good. Now, unsurprisingly these days, the watch comes with a screw-down caseback and a screw-down crown, but what was a surprise is the water resistance rating. That is 200 meters. So yeah, you're not going to have any issues swimming with this one. Now, the case is beautifully finished, I have to say. Fully brushed on top, apart from the bezel, which is polished, and those large flat sides are polished as well. The caseback has a mix of brushing and polishing. It seems to have been done very nicely. There is a high polished chamfered edge Running the length of the case and the transitions between the two types of finishing is also very nicely done. The strap seems nice enough. It's sort of cream underneath and black on top with some very nice contrasting stitching actually. No signature on the buckle, but it is a stainless steel buckle. Seems nice enough, doesn't it? But this is where the money went, into the dial and the applied indices, and I guess the case as well. It's a very nicely finished case, a very interesting case shape as well, but the dial, look at it, so much going on. Beautifully textured dial, very much in keeping with the original watch. Proxima with the unicorn logo under the 12. I would have preferred it without the logo and just the name Proxima, I think, but automatic above the 6, and you've got applied markers at every single minute, and extra large applied markers at the hour markers. They're sort of step markers because the minute and seconds hands glide over that inner surface. Look, you can see it right now. And on the higher step, you've got some loom, which is not in keeping with the original watch, but it's a nice touch. I think it just modernizes the watch a little bit. Beautiful pattern on the dial as well. It's very nicely done, I have to say. I also like the hands, again, very much in keeping with the original watch, but these hands have a capped seconds hand at the center of the dial, which I really like. That always finishes off dials very nicely. And all of the applied markers and the hands, and even the frame, I think, have a slightly darker, more gunmetal finish. I think they are high polished. Look, lots and lots of light play on this dial, but at certain angles they look almost black. Look at that angle. So I don't think they're a sort of standard colour. I do think they've got a slightly different and more unusual finish to them. But it definitely adds to the look of the watch. I think it looks awesome. Right, let's finish up at the light box with a wrist roll and a shot of this watch on my roughly average 7¼ inch-ish wrist. And there it is, 38mm in diameter. I think that is the sweet spot for me and my wrist. I did used to prefer slightly larger watches, especially divers up to sort of 42mm. But these days I am preferring 38mm watches. And that's exactly what this is. So yeah, I like the look of this watch on my wrist. Doesn't sit too high, look. You could definitely wear that under a cuff if you wanted to. But it's just a cool looking vintage inspired homage. Yeah, they've done a good job of this one, definitely. So as you would expect, I have been putting together a list of what I consider to be the watch's strengths and weaknesses, but I'm going to be brutally honest with you. My list of strengths is basically a list of all the elements that have come together to make this watch. There are a couple of minor weaknesses which I'll run through in a minute, but yeah, there is very little I dislike about it. I think it looks fantastic. The build quality with Proxima watches is always very good. I love the dial, the applied indices, the hands. I like that slightly darker gunmetal grey that they've given those markers and hands. I love the case finishing. Even the strap and the buckle aren't too offensive, are they? Quite often these watches come out of AliExpress with straps that you're going to change very quickly. But actually the strap's very nice. I like the contrasting stitching. The loom's good. Yeah, very little to complain about. But I have made a small list of things that I would like to see changed on maybe a version 2. The branding, that unicorn logo on the dial. I'm not a huge fan of that. Personally, I would prefer just to see Proxima on the dial. Also blue AR coating and strong AR coating as well. I'm not so sure this style of watch suits a modern blue AR coating, so personally I would like to see a clear AR coating on the crystal. And the last one is, well, back to branding, a complete lack of branding on the crown, the case back, and also the buckle. It's a little bit sterile, isn't it? Maybe that's where they're saving a little bit of money because their watches are very competitively priced, but maybe some sort of Proxima logo on either the crown or the buckle might just, I don't know, up the stakes a little bit, make it just a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for, maybe premium? Yeah, that sort of slightly sterile look when you look at the rest of the watch. You know, I'm not a fan of that, but honestly, not too much to complain about. Fantastic price in the sale. Yeah, these are like buses, aren't they? We haven't seen one of these, well, ever until recently. I've reviewed 2 of them and they're both incredible. So yeah. Right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. As always, massive thank you from me to you for tuning in to watch the review of this awesome Proxima. I do really appreciate it. And thank you so much for using my links in the sale. It really does help, guys. So thank you so much. Right, take care. You'll see me again very soon.